We're now going into AIOPS with Susan Sharp. Susan, are you with us?
I am. Thank you very much. Hello, folks.
Right.
I know I've presented in some of these forums before. I have had the pleasure of being the product manager who first introduced Cloud IQ almost 10 years ago, and the name now is Dell AIOPS. What I'm going to be talking about in my session very quickly is what's in the product today, because it's very foundational to where we're going in the future. But I do want to go on and advertise that at Dell Tech World, if any of you are at Dell Tech World and want to learn more beyond what I talk about that's in the product today about where we're going, particularly with agentic AI, come see us, come pick up our session. Shameless plug for our session. I'll make sure that Austin and Dennis have it in whatever follow-up materials they have, but I'll just say you can look for the keyword or the name is Next IT Ops Chapter with Agentic AI and Storage Automation. So with that, that'll be the future. We'll see you at Dell Tech World if you're there. And Austin, we can go on and get into the deck to talk about what we have today. So as I mentioned, we first went live 10 years ago with the name Cloud IQ. We recently changed the name to AIOps because of the importance of AI all around us. We're all using AI tools for everything that we do, or a lot of the things that we do at work. And so we acknowledge that importance, and that's part of the reason we changed our name to AIOps. And I'm going to be talking about how we leverage in Dell AIOps, AI and ML to assist in IT operations types of tasks. Next slide. When we talk about Dell AIOps, first of all, like I said, we've been around for about 10 years. We're approaching our 1 million mark in terms of the total number of systems ever connected. Our main focus is really on that faster time to resolution. And part of the faster time to resolution is faster time to identification. I'll talk a little bit more about how we do that in the next few slides. But really the focus here is really being able to achieve that 10 times faster time to resolution, both with the predictions, the notifications, we have a mobile app, all of the ways that we can inform our users about potential issues in their environment. And then also with that, recommended remediations to address those as quickly as possible. I mentioned on the previous slide, AI is all around us. Also automation, the need to accelerate, be able to address issues, and this ties back into the faster time to resolution. But anytime I reference automation, it's always with the human in the loop. It's always with the human approver, and it certainly is always audited. But we know that it's becoming a necessity to be able to automate those common, routine, repeating tasks. And so we're going to be helping with that. The AIOps Assistant is one of the most important newish deliveries or deliverables that we have. We first introduced that 2 years ago at Dell Tech World. We've been told it's a little subtle, so I'm pointing out here that it's tucked up in the title bar or masthead. That will be one of the last screenshots I conclude my session with. So we'll talk more about that. All right, next slide, please. So this is what I like to refer to as our family portrait. So Lindsay did a great job. And by the way, it's purposeful that Lindsay talked about Secure Connect Gateway or Direct Connect preceding my session, because that's actually what we're using. And she referenced that in terms of enabling users to be able to send their system telemetry, no user data, but system telemetry from your data centers using that tried and trusted Secure Connect Gateway mechanism or Direct Connect into Dell IT. So we're all hosted in the same place in private, secure, protected Dell IT. And then the Secure Connect Gateway is the mechanism for sending that telemetry for all of these types of products. PowerEdge servers, by the way, using Open Managed Enterprise. So that was also an important introductory point that was made as well. Then with storage using Secure Connect Gateway, network, both IP and fiber channel switches are supported, data protection, and then our hyperconverged products as well. So all of those will leverage Secure Connect Gateway as that trusted remote conduit. And then the other, we also were talking about the benefits of Pro Support. Obviously, you all, as was said before, already have Pro Support Plus, so you already have met that criterion as well. So So this is what we refer to as our family portrait. And then as we go to the next slide, thank you, Alston. One of the first value props that we'll see is delivering these unified insights across the infrastructure. So single pane of glass, including all of those products that you just saw, and supporting and providing monitoring capabilities for all those products you just saw in that family portrait. As I mentioned, we're hosted in the private Dell IT infrastructure, again, leveraging Secure Connect Gateway for sending that telemetry from your data center to Dell IT. The next two areas, the actionable intelligence and cybersecurity, these are key elements in terms of faster time to resolution. We are proactively identifying potential health vulnerabilities or cybersecurity vulnerabilities. We are providing recommended remediation. And so all of this is about getting to that faster time to resolution, which starts with faster time to identification. Again, with proactive emails, you see here the mobile app. So whatever mechanism works best for you in your environment to be made aware of these important events. And then the last two kind of value props on this slide, the proactive monitoring and the Gen AI capabilities. First of all, the proactive monitoring. This is really why we have the name AIOPS, leveraging AI and ML to enable, accelerate, streamline, simplify IT operations. So we do have some important capabilities that I'll actually show you in the screenshots. What I like to say is this enables humans to offload to machines what machines do well, so that humans have more time to do what they do well. And then our own Gen AI capability that I mentioned on the previous slide that we introduced 2 years ago. I am going to be concluding with that because, spoiler alert, that is going to become extremely prominent as we go forward. And that's actually what we're going to be showcasing at Dell Tech World. So I'm only going to hint about it today, but certainly we can have a follow-up session and you can learn more about that. So next slide. So here are the screenshots. So right here, we're now in the Dell AIOPS interface, and I'm looking specifically at the proactive health widget. And the drop list that I've opened is showing that, again, not only is the product your single pane of glass across your whole Dell infrastructure environment, but even this particular widget, the System Health, provides for you that at-a-glance view across all of those Dell devices. Thank you. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Alston. If you think back to that family portrait slide that I was talking about. So if you were to navigate by clicking a link to go to System Health, we can go to the next slide. This would take you to a view where you'll see, in this case, a view of all of your storage systems, kind of the next level detail. So you had an at-a-glance on the dashboard widget. This gives you a little bit of information across different health categories. And then from here, this happens to be organized by storage, but you would have common views or similar views if it was other product types. You can then navigate directly into that particular system, and you'll see, and we can go on and go to the next slide, Alston, and you'll see the health issue identified, and then you see the recommended resolution within that box right there, and then you'll see in the top right corner the ability to navigate into the element manager for this system. So this happens to be a power scale, so the name of that element manager would be 1FS. I do want to clarify, we talked about needing pro support. I forgot to say, you log into Dell AIOPS using those support credentials. If you're then navigating out of Dell AIOPS, which is mostly monitoring and observability, into the element manager, as you would naturally expect, we do preserve that security. The user would need to provide the credentials navigating into the element manager, because that's a different context. That's an active management context. But the point is faster time to resolution, faster time to identification. Even though I was showing this in the GUI, you also would get email notifications or mobile app notifications or whatever your preference is. We tell you not only what the issue is, but what the recommended resolution is. And again, all of that drives down the time to resolution. So thank you, Austin. You're doing a great job hovering over. We can go to the next slide. So that was all about proactive health. Now we're talking about cybersecurity. And if you look in the top left, you see cybersecurity system risk. We modeled cybersecurity very similar to what I showed you for proactive health. So again, we can then navigate into that system by clicking on the name there, and you can go on and hit the next slide, Austin. And so similar to the health vulnerabilities, this is showing you the cybersecurity vulnerabilities, starting first with misconfigurations. And these are all defined by the subject matter experts from each of the teams. So in this case, the security team at PowerMax is defining what they believe are potential cybersecurity misconfigurations that need to be addressed. So that's one part of what you get with cybersecurity. And you can see the examples there. I didn't blow this out, but similarly, we would provide the recommended remediation for those cybersecurity issues. And then Austin, if we go on in advance, you're going to see in addition to misconfigurations, the right-hand tab is security advisories. Think of this as a curated list of the Dell security advisories that apply to your environment. So right now I'm in the context of a single PowerMax, and so it's the 2 Dell security advisories that would that we believe match that PowerMax. Typically it's by model and code version. And again, I didn't boil all of this out, but we do also show an aggregate list of all of the Dell security advisories for all of the that we believe match any of the products in your environment. So you would be able to get that aggregate list. So that was the health vulnerabilities and the cybersecurity vulnerabilities. As Austin advances, next we'll talk about those analytics. And so what we're showing here is, first of all, we'll show projections of capacity that's expected to get to reach full within 90 days. And we picked 90 days, so hopefully that gives users time to maybe migrate workloads or make other adjustments. I didn't highlight it, but maybe look at the reclaimable storage on the right-hand side and see if there's some unused storage that can be freed up. So whatever that is, we give you that start giving you that 90-day window. We also do tie that into the proactive health. And then Austin, if you'll click again, you'll see that then the left-hand side of this same widget will show what in this screenshot we call imminent, but I like to call it capacity anomaly. And so this is where we start to get into that machine learning where humans can offload to machines what machines do well. Austin, if you'll click again, that will bring us to this first entity whose capacity is imminently approaching full. And when I say imminently, it's that red dot that you see, or dotted line that you see there. But you can also see that that happened all of a sudden. So you're doing awesome, Austin. So up until this moment, that green shading indicates the free capacity. You had plenty of free capacity. There was very little activity or change in capacity happening until just a few hours ago. And so now it's expected to reach full within 5 hours. Somewhere it says that at the very top. And the left-hand blue box will show you the storage objects that are likely contributing to that. Again, I just kind of gave you some snippets here, but then the user, anytime you see blue, you can navigate into that entity, not in the slides, but if you were in the real product, and then you could look at and you would see that in fact this first file system is clearly strongly contributing to this capacity anomaly. So that's capacity anomaly. And Austin, if we can advance, this will bring you back to the, or this is a similar capability. This is now looking at performance anomaly. You can see in the legend, the dark blue shading indicates an anomaly. But the other thing that you might be able to see, the coloring isn't perfect, but also we have pink shading. And what the pink shading, sorry, let me go back. The anomaly is using a seasonality algorithm, a machine learning algorithm that learns the normal range. And I don't think you're going to be able to see the color differences here, but just trust me when I tell you there's a light gray shading indicating the normal range of activity. And then that dark blue shading is indicating that spike is out of the normal range. So that's one part of the machine learning. Then we pair that with, hopefully you can, if you squint enough, you can see the pink shading where we're using another algorithm. This is a time series correlation, correlating those two spikes in latency as occurring at the same time as drops in IOPS. And so what this is saying is, even though the left-hand spike isn't an anomaly at this point, that in fact these latency spikes are causing performance problems at the system level. Think about the amount of time it would take to manually go back and try to look at maybe historically captured graphs and try to kind of hold it up to the light and see where those things changed. We're providing for you this this information right in the tool and even servicing it on the dashboard. I just didn't take a screenshot of it. All right. So you're doing awesome, Alston, and I think we're going to now come to the AIOPS assistant, if I remember my, oh, sorry, I forgot. And then just like what we were doing for the capacity anomaly, we'll also indicate for you the storage objects that are likely contributing to this performance anomaly and impact so that you can continue your troubleshooting. It's kind of a real easy guided drill down to understand what those relationships are. So again, so that you don't have to go and kind of fiddle with all the different performance graphs for all of the different volumes on the storage system. We're showing you that relationship right here in that context. Sorry, I forgot that part. Okay, and now I want to conclude by talking about our AIOPS assistant. As I said, we first introduced this 2 years ago at Dell Tech World. Alston, we can go on in advance here. And what this is showing is the capability that we have with our own Gen AI tool. When we first introduced it 2 years ago, if any of you saw it at the time, it was a little bit more modest. It was more generic, how do I do types of questions. Then last year, we significantly updated it to have what we refer to as environment awareness. So in this case, the user entered the query in the top, create a table for me listing the systems that have the most carbon footprint or contributing the most to my carbon footprint and threshold that matters to me. So more than 15,000 cumulative emissions. So the AIOPS assistant is able to now generate these visualizations for you so that you don't have to go and create a custom report. You don't have to go, not that it's that hard, but you don't have to go navigate and figure out where the carbon footprint capability is. You can simply enter the question that matters to you, and the AIOPS assistant will generate that visualization right here for you. So that's what we actually have had since we introduced it at Dell Tech World last May, but we went GA with it in October. And I said earlier, spoiler alert, I don't have slides on this because it's not officially announced yet, but I'm going to give you a sneak peek that if you're at Dell Tech World and you come see the session that I talked about, maybe I can get Dennis to put it in the notes in Alston, we'll talk more about how we're taking this Gen AI experience, which today is tucked up in the corner in a kind of subtle fashion. We're going to make it much more prominent. It will become the primary user experience. You'll still have everything I talked about with Dell AI Ops, and that experience will basically sit on top of the capabilities I walked through, which is why I wanted to walk through them today. But we're going to make that Gen AI experience much more prominent and really that primary user experience to further enhance and enrich your awareness of and use of the insights that we have in Dell AIOPS. We also will be adding in, I won't get too much into the how, but we also will be adding in some automation and remediation capabilities, but I do want to emphasize always with a human in the loop, always with appropriate security protocols. So again, if you're at Dell Tech World, come hear more about that in terms of our next evolution of what we're doing with Dell AIOPS. All right, I think that does it for me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.